All right, we're live. All right. So tonight we are live with John Miner of Big Dog Exotic Genetics. Um, John's been in the game for quite a while. He's won some of the biggest competitions that breeders, growers, anyone pretty much in the game can be part of. The Emerald Cup. He's also won the High Times Cup back to back actually in the same year. So it's one hell of an accomplishment. I've been lucky enough to grow John's genetics and can say that they are definitely some of the best that I've grown. Let me welcome you, John. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know we tried this when week one, and YouTube, for whatever the hell reason, it was a nightmare. So we had to do it on Facebook, and we weren't able to document it and stuff. And I think that you definitely deserve to have this documented and whatnot, so people that either are coming through YouTube or just starting up with my thing with the Grow Big Buds discords or anything like that can familiarize themselves with you and possibly track down your genetics. As you all word of mouth is fucking huge in this game. So I got a big one, so I have no problem bringing anybody on and screaming from the mountaintops, hey, this guy's got good fucking genetics. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or anything, John, from anything I've said, if there's anything I missed as far as in the introduction, any accolades or anything like that, But
I know. Thank you for the introduction. I think you pretty much covered a handful of things there.
Oh, hold on. I just dropped my fucking computer almost. Yeah, so usually with the YouTubes, you get set amount of people live. A lot of the views come from later on and stuff. So, but as people are coming on and whatnot, we'll take questions from the audience and stuff like that. But let's see here.
Cool.
I'm gonna start off with a couple of what I like to call fucking icebreaker questions. All right.
Yep. Dave, before you jump into that, do you do you want to? I can send something out on Facebook saying we're live right now. I just need to find the link to your.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna.
I think I just sent it to Sean Swin. Damn, I keep calling him
text it to you? I don't know if I can text it.
I tracked it down last night to send it to somebody.
You know what? Hold on. I'll actually
your YouTube live section.
I got it on also. We're live.
Okay, I found out who I sent it to. All right, I'm copying the link now, and I'm just gonna post it on Facebook real quick,
hey, Victor,
and then we can continue.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do too. I just need to get the link.
hopefully they don't delete my account because of this post. Shit, I may not be able to post it. I'm in jail for a month with my account.
Bro,
imagine that, right?
It's insanity with this shit, man. With all the they just took my 17-year-old account, bro. The account's been on for 17 years, and they took the fucking thing. It's getting.
Man.
I mean, bro, everything from family pictures, fishing videos to 4 years of every cultivar that I've grown and posted on Facebook. You know what I mean? It's disgraceful. I don't even. It's
Dude, I got pictures of my
disgraceful.
Yeah, I got pictures of my kids and all kinds of stuff that I can't get back. I didn't think I'd ever lose my account and not be able to download all my stuff.
Bro, what's crazy is the people that still have accounts.
It let me share it. Damn it, let me re-tag it and do it as let me do a highlight on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually do the same thing right now. Share. Slow as molasses. What the fuck is that? I hate these damn everything about this crap with these cell phones and everything else. Sorry, John.
Sounds like you live on a busy street there.
Bro. Yeah, just a little bit. It's you'll hear sirens the whole time, rap music, gunshots. You know, it's always something when I'm live. So, but
That's
it is
crazy.
what it is. You know.
Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me use highlight as a tag. But anyways, I made a post.
Yeah, they stopped. I noticed that too. Like when my other account was starting to, like fade out, I guess you could call it. They wouldn't let me highlight. They wouldn't let me add everyone. None of that shit. So it's part of their shadow ban options, I guess, is the best way to to call it. But
I guess
it's becoming ridiculous, dude. It's like it's a fucking plant, man. And you can go on here and find prostitutes with their hoo-has and wings out, and some of the stuff that they put on here, it looks like kids that they're, it's insane. You report it, nothing happens, but someone reports a pic of a friggin' plant, and instantly your account's gone. How that is, how that works is just beyond me.
Yeah,
it's.
I know, dude. I've seen meth and all kinds of stuff. I've seen meth and all kinds of stuff posted on Facebook, and I'm like, what the hell? I've only reported probably 2 posts in the 10 years I've been on Facebook, and it's when someone's showing meth and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what? This is definitely the wrong place to be showing meth.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. I mean, I've seen people selling bricks of heroin, bricks of meth, bricks of cocaine on here, guns. I mean, guns. And I've got to the point now where my account's been so hammered by their fucked up policies that I report anything that's just fucked up like that now. Drugs, sex, anything. And never, I always get a thing back. Oh, we took a look at it and it's fine for our policies. It's a wide open vagina. And it's fine for their policies, but a plant. I'm glad that I'm actually glad in a way that the Facebook thing happened, because it, the comfortability of it is where I find that I'm glad, because you get so comfortable in it that you get lazy, and I neglected building other socials. You know what I mean? Because it was it was just one. It's to balance socials is hard to begin with. You know what I mean? It's not easy to do 10 to 3 socials and keep up with it constantly, making sure, this and that. So when you have one that's got, 10,000 members here, 10,000 members there, and then you're over in this group helping out, and you got 30, 40 people you're mentoring at the same time, it just becomes where you can't spread out as much. So I've been wanting to do the YouTube. I've been, pushing for it for like 2 years. I get a co-host, and and they flake out and stuff. So me and Blizzy have done a couple of lives together, and we had a good thing going, with them. So I said, let's just do it, dude. We're both off of Facebook now. I'm like, we're never going back there ever again. I opened up an account, it was shut down in a week. I opened up another account today, it was shut down instantly. So it is what it is now.
Yeah, my John Boy Big Butts account lasted maybe a week and a half. And the one thing, you were talking about doing this on YouTube, because last time we were doing on Facebook, my account was reported and deleted in the middle of the live, because I had already been in jail. Right? I had already been in jail for 3 weeks. I hadn't made a post in 3 weeks. I couldn't comment. I couldn't do anything. I was on full lockdown. And in the middle of your live, I get deleted. Like my screen list disappears and it says your Facebook has been suspended, and they wouldn't take my review serious.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and their new thing is if you use let's say just a misspelling of your name to try to circumvent their bullshit, because you think, in your head you're like, oh, maybe my name, if I change my name and whatnot, so you change a letter. Within a day or so, they send a video of your face bullshit now, and it never works. Every fucking time they've sent that thing, and now it's been 4 times I do it. I'm sitting there, like an idiot, and Nothing. I get, they shut down the fucking account anyway. So what's the purpose of it? How are you going to verify?
So the purpose, Dave, the purpose of it, you missed the whole point. They did a full facial recognition on your face. So now you're in their database. Okay. So if you start up new accounts and you go to appeal and you throw your face on there, but your face was already registered with an account that got banned, you're instantly going to get shut down. So you need to find other people. Find other people to scan your face because you can't keep using yours. You're already in the system.
I should have drawn eyes on my ass and stuck a carrot between my cheeks and taken a picture. It wouldn't have been too far off anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, Halloween's going to be here anyway one day, right? Might as well dress up again.
Yeah, it would have been pretty. Imagine if it worked. They were like, that's when you got to start asking yourself questions,
Yeah. So I've actually done a facial scan of a buddy of mine that's not even on Facebook for one of my accounts.
I didn't even think of that, bro.
Yeah, one of the accounts I'm using now, they said, "Oh, we got to verify you." And so I grabbed my buddy that he's like 65. He doesn't do anything on Facebook. So I'm like, "Oh, you're a virgin. They don't have your face on social media anywhere."
Man, lucky bastard, bro. I that pisses me off, man, because now fucking I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't do that, But as someone who was let's just say on the other side of the law for years, how it didn't dawn on me is fucking, because I'm like that guy who, like walks into a store, like certain stores and shit like that, and whatnot. So because everywhere you go, like there was actually a thing in Manhattan, bro. Check this one out. About 2 years ago, there was on a building, like the storefront of a building. As you're walking by, it would fucking grab a facial recognition of you, right? And next thing you know, boom, your name with the last four of your fucking social is on the screen as you're walking by on the facade of the building. The fucking thing was grabbing pictures of people, and within seconds, boom, your picture's on the fucking thing of you walking by, and above your head with like a little line is your name and the last four of your fucking social. I was like, what in the holy hell is this shit? You know what I mean? But every person who's walking by, you just see boom, 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 it popping up. And I'm like, what is this? Like, who even gave you permission to, scan me to fucking begin with? I'm just walking down the sidewalk. But for you to slap it up there, my name and everything, I mean, even the last four of my social, I'm like, you gave them half of what they need. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insanity to me. But that's the world we live in now, bro.
Yeah. All right. So you said you had you had a little outline of some fun questions. Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Let's see what you came up with.
All right. So these are the icebreaker questions. I went a little easier on you. I went a little easy on you with these ones. So, all right. So first one would be, would you rather fight one giant Hermie or 100 Spider-Mite-sized cops?
I would go with the Hermie because you know what? Hermies get killed with water. All you got to do is spray pollen down and you're done. That's a trick. Glad you brought that up. No, that's a question for all the viewers out there. If you think you have a Herm in your room, take a little spray bottle with you of water. If you see it, squirt it down before you do anything. Because you can kill pollen within 24 hours of it touching a pistil on your plant. You can kill that pollen so you won't get any seeds. So if you see a Herm, spray everything down. You think you would see a Herm, take a squirt bottle. When you go to pluck up any nut sacks, squirt it with water. You can more than likely salvage your plant, salvage the grow, whatnot. Sometimes a plant will pop a few nuts. Sometimes it will pop a whole bunch, but water kills it. So to answer your question, Dave, I would rather fight a Herm with water than the spider mites. I hate those motherfuckers.
Oh, bro, those things are the worst, dude. We were speaking of that with, we were talking about those with Lost Coast last week, and it just, I mean, the devil, bro. They really are. They are one of the fastest, most destructive things you could possibly have go wrong in your room. They're just, and they're not easy to kill back. You know what I mean? Like that's the worst part of it is that you think you got them, and if you didn't if you didn't do your due diligence and really get in there and spray everything and alcohol, et cetera, one lives and you're screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. They're just terrible.
Well, one of the biggest problems with spider mites is that the eggs can fall down into the soil, and you may have sprayed everything, you may have plucked everything, you may have sprayed your plant well, but if you don't spray down in your soil or actually basically toss all your soil, you're going to keep getting those spider mites in your shit. So your soil matters. Like every nook and cranny, they're a motherfucker. And then you pretty much got to do your maintenance every couple of days for like 2 months straight, and you can't miss a spot.
Yeah. I think people forget. That IPM isn't just for the plant. That you have to address the soil as well, because that's where everything starts. You know what I mean? Or can proliferate. Without you even noticing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of just treating my water with I'll treat it like every set amount of things I'll throw in something, let's say Mammoth, just to throw something out there, Mammoth or something in the actual feed water, you know what I mean, to kind of start anything that might have gotten in there, don't have a chance of hatching, let's just, so the labs work too good, Bob, but everything only works to a certain extent. You got to remember that, Bob. It's a matter of, stacking, you know what I mean? Not one thing does it. Not one thing is a wonder drug, let's just say, So, but I know you had another thought there, John. I cut you off. Do you remember what it was?
No, I forgot.
All right. So what's the most ridiculous strain name you've ever heard, but secretly liked?
Oh, boy. I wouldn't say ridiculous would be the word I'd choose to describe how I felt when I heard this name. But one name really sticks in my mind for a strain that I really had to investigate. And once I investigated, I was like, wow, that's a pretty interesting name, pretty interesting story. Basically, a really interesting story. The name of the strain is Where's My Bike?
Where's my bike?
Where's My Bike? That's the name of the strain. You can Google it. It's on the internet. I went down the rabbit hole on the strain called Where's My Bike? And this guy was living in Colorado, I think, is the story. So he's basically tells the story of Where's My Bike? And this article is very, very hard to find. I've tried to find it again, and I can't find it. But anyways, the story behind it is this guy goes over to his buddy's house. His buddy's got some weed. He's over there smoking some weed. And he'd been a pretty regular smoker. That weed made him feel extremely different compared to most of the weeds that he smoked. And so he asked his buddy, he's like, dude, I need to get some more of that flower. And what's the name of that strain? And the name of the strain was Where's My Bike? Well, he took it to the lab and found out that it's the only strain he's ever smoked that had like 4% CBG in it and 20% or whatever THC. But most cannabis plants have about 0.5%, 0.8%, maybe 1% CBG, but this had 4 times that amount. So that mixed cannabinoid, this goes into the whole entourage effect, which I'm really big into and do a lot of breeding with, a lot of cross breeding with THC, CBD, CBG. Going to be starting in THCB and some of those other diverse cannabinoids. I'm going to go down that road as well. But there's definitely something to be said about that. So the name of the strain became Where's My Bike? Because the dude walked out and he could not figure out where he left his bike.
It's like, dude, where's my car?
Right. Exactly. So that was a pretty interesting name for a strain.
That has to do with that whole entourage thing. That's that everybody, that some people react just so differently. Some people might not get the effect, some people do, et cetera, et cetera. So it's interesting, that you slap that little bit of the CBG in there, and you get goofy. You know what I mean? Like this
wasn't a little bit. I mean, if you get 4 or 5%, I've got that big run strain that big run strain that's been haunting you that you like so much.
My fucking nemesis.
That's a unicorn, dude. That test at 6.5% CBG and 30% THC, 40% total cannabinoids.
Bro, that strain, it's my fucking nemesis, bro. It's the only way to put it. Every time I get to the fucking to the mountaintop almost, I fucking have idiot fucking pull some kind of fucking whammy on me, It's so third time's a charm, though.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
And so the funny thing is what stinks is the name of your group and everything, Big Buds. This is one of the biggest budding growing plants that I've come across. Not the biggest, but for production plant and for a unicorn, to have all the qualities, the high trichome production, the high terpene, the very diverse cannabinoid, and throw off big, huge buds. It's a total unicorn. And it's
that I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it because one, it's
Robert. Yes, Bob. Dude, where's my bike? That's what I thought. I was going to say, dude, where's my bike? But last time I looked it up, I thought it was where's my bike, and I added the dude. But that's probably more correct. Dude, where's my bike is the name of the strain that Bob
I like
posted.
that one. So
yeah.
All right. So let's see here. What do we got here for you? All right. So if Big Dogg Genetics had a signature snack for stoners, what would it be, and would it come with a warning label?
Signature snack.
You're a peanut butter guy, right?
I like peanut butter, but now if I were to go for a signature snack that came with a warning, I'd have to say it would be something,
it doesn't have to come with a warning. Would it come with a warning? Is that would it be infused? You know what I mean? Would it be a special fucking Godfather OG Rice Krispie treat from hell?
Oh, gotcha. I'm not big into making my own edibles, and I'm not a big munchie guy. I try not to. It still happens, but I'll just go make something simple. But if I get the munchies, and it'd be the chili, and the warning would be, the diarrhea, the gas, the toilet, the trip to the bathroom. But man, we're gonna mac the hell out of some chili and cheese, and then chips and corn dogs, whatever. But yeah.
The warning: do not go 10 feet from toilet.
Yeah. By invitation only. Bring your own toilet paper.
All right. So here's a question for you: have you ever named a strain after an ex just to watch people burn it down?
That's a good one. No. I try to. Most of my exes, I try to remain friends with. I got 2 ex-wives, and I try not to burn bridges with anybody. So no, I haven't done that.
All right. So now we're going to go into the meat and potatoes of some breeding question here. So I call this section breeding philosophy and vision. All right. So what's the driving force behind Big Dogg's exotic genetics? Is it flavor, power, bag appeal, or is there a deeper mission?
There's a much deeper mission. So my personal, this is a two-edged sword or loaded question, as you'd put it. What customers are asking me to buy, they're asking me if I have this type of thing on the menu. It's always about the high THC. That's 99% of the time, the highest THC that you have. Luckily, I found the Godfather strain. I found that lemon banana sherbet strain that tests at 39%, and everything I hunted to buy to breed with had to be 30% or better. So that was just already kind of in my protocol. I'm going to dip backwards and play with some older stuff that doesn't hit, much more than 23 or 24% for the terpenes. But to answer your question, I like the diverse cannabinoid that has been my mission. I started off on the CBD side, and then I went over into the THC side to have sales throughout the year, because my CBD sales are typically only for a couple months in springtime for outdoor growers. But so the mixing of the 2 cannabinoids is one mission.
Disconnected. Discovering.
One of my, sorry, I got to shut my
Bluetooth off.
Disconnected.
in my heart, I want to be breeding one-to-ones, kind of stuff. But so I started off with building blocks on the THC side, though. I went with the Sonic Truffles and White Truffle, the truffle stuff for the Super Frost Factor as a building block, knowing the end goal is super frosty, hit with a really high THC that I found high yielders of, that then hit something really terpy, but may have not been a very vigorous grower or very high THC. So I built the building blocks, and then the last step is coming in and going for the really high terpene value and very specialized terpenes. But it's all building blocks. To answer your question, is you can't just breed two things and say, boom, there's a perfect cultivar. There's a purpose and there's a mission behind what I'm breeding. It's always bigger, the strong, really strong, self-supporting genetics that just huge stocks so they can support huge buds and they're just really healthy. That's my number one. Then we go into the frost factor and yield. That's got to be a yielder. I know dude, I'd be embarrassed if little buds like this were coming off my plants. Yeah, okay, they're super frosty, but dude, by the time it dries, it's smaller than a dime. That's
I
not
got
me.
Fucking dongs, dude. The shit I was growing with those was fucking dongs.
Oh, dude, that blueberry muffin, that muffin and truffles you grew was just blowing my mind with just huge colas, Paul. And dude, the white truffle and the blueberry
kept going.
Dude, and the white truffle and the blueberry, neither of them. Blueberry's a medium-sized bud, and the white truffle, honestly, is kind of a smaller bud plant, super frosty.
Yeah.
But the Pinot you found got that hybrid vigor and was throwing off the donkey dicks there.
That thing, I couldn't believe it. I was like, it just fucking kept going and going and going. And I didn't even pull the max potential out of that plant, I don't think. You know what I mean? Because I had that fucking that error on the bloom, where I miscalculated the week or whatever it was, and fucking hit it with a little too much, and it kind of fucking went a little wonky on the pH and stuff. Kind of got thrown off because I wasn't balanced, by doing it. You know what I mean? And it fucking and I couldn't even imagine what that fucking that one could have done. You know what I mean? It was some of those buds were fucking like 2.5 feet long.
And you sent me clones of it, but unfortunately, they were way so far into flower that I couldn't get that thing to root for me. But I tried. I really tried.
Bro. Listen, I would have fucking, no, we had no fucking idea that was even in there. You know what I mean? Like, it was a surprise to both of us. We were on the phone with each other fucking almost every day. Like, dude, look at this thing grew to fucking 3-4 inches today. Like, it's like, it was just becoming like, just absolutely like mind-boggling, because I had just run the white truffle, so I know what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know
you know that was nowhere near big buds.
yeah, dude. Like the white truffle, like granted, it was they were nice, but they weren't fucking 30 inches long. You know what I mean?
No, and I grew the blueberry muffins, and I'm medium-sized buds. Nothing to be ashamed of, but nothing like what you found. And if I remember the story right, you only popped one seed.
Yeah. Yep. One seed. That was it. Fucking popped the one seed. And what was even crazy about the fucking thing is the terps. It was the truffly funk, but smelled like a fucking blueberry muffin. You'd walk in, you were like blueberry muffin, and then pop, you get hit with the funk. And the taste when you hit it, you got hit with the funk on the way in, and you blew out, and your mouth filled with blueberries. It was fucking ridiculous, So that's definitely one I'm going to rerun. You know what I mean? That's it. That was because I know it did. I know there's no way that's just a recessive one-off. You know what I mean? It's just so beautiful, and it has to be more. There has to be more of them in there. Than just that one-off. 2,000, 3,000. Whatever the numbers are.
Well, I know it's not just a one-off, because I got a pack about a year ago to a local rec grower here in my town. His name is Rich, and he runs a recreational grow called Hug Farms here in Central Oregon. And I got Rich a pack. He hunted out 10 seeds, and he came across 2 keepers that he really liked, but he let me come down to his shop and look at all of them. And same thing, monster freaking buds. Some of the biggest buds. I've taken a tour of his shop multiple times. Biggest buds I've ever seen growing at his facility was that muffin and truffle.
Were you able to get any clones of it? Did he keep clones or no?
Oh yeah. He gave me clones.
Oh, thank God, bro.
Yeah, he gave me about a quarter ounce of each pheno that he liked. I sampled them all, and I liked number 6 pheno. He liked number 5 pheno best. He gave me clones of both of them. And nice. I've got them mommed out. I've got them cloned. I'm actually breeding with them now. I'm getting ready to cross Juicy J.
Oh, yeah?
Nobody. Yeah, Juicy J. Most people haven't. I got it confused with Juicy G, which
Juicy
I'm not a big pine.
Juicy G.
I'm not a big pine skull kind of guy. You know, yeah. That's not my. As one of the. I hate a flower that smells like flowers, like bud that smells like floral. Not my thing, and stuff that smells like lime. Just not one of my favorites. But other than that, where was I going? The combination of the terpenes with the blueberry and the funk. It gives it a nice combo to where it's not just so super fruity. You know, it's got that and kind of gas into it as well.
Because some of those blueberries, bro, no bullshit. I've smelled blueberries that fucking like, you know, that they get to like almost like where they start getting like a pissy smell to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like almost like where they get so, I don't know what it is. It's like after they dry, it's something in in it that fucking, I notice it because I'm very sensitive to certain kinds of smells, but I'll smell like the blueberry, but then like the back end of it, man, just starts getting like that ammoniated kind of smell to me. And I don't dig it when they get like really just, you know, super fucking berry because they can sour, I guess the word is I'm looking for. You know what I mean? You know, like almost in the profile. And I've not been a fan of it like that when they're stupid fucking, you know, fruity like that. But so let me see it. All right, so here we go. So what's one trait in cannabis you refuse to compromise on, no matter the hype or market pressure?
That's a very good question, and I have a absolutely solid. Anybody that talks to me hears the same story over and over. I absolutely refuse to grow a slow-growing, flimsy, floppy, the plant that you got to baby, the plant that you got to prop up, a plant that's finicky. If she is not a beast, she has no place in my facility. This place runs only big dog genetics. If she's a weak one, I'm trying to give her a chance. I give her as many chances as I can possibly get. But here's the scenario. I've got 500 or 600 plants at any given time ready to go into flower right now.
Yeah.
I only have a spot for 300. So I pick the biggest and strongest one first. If they're weak, they never make it to the breeding tents. And the flimsy poppy ones, I just throw them in the trash left and right. And that's my biggest pet peeve is I cannot stand the flimsy, floppy, the just no support on the stalks. You have to run a scrog. You have to run lines to type your buds. You have to, you know, you're doing all this work to hold up medium-sized buds on a plant that, you know, can't even hold its own weight.
Yeah, that's like a lot of people, like I run, you'll see me throwing, like when the group and whatnot, you'll see me throwing out there, you know, I started fucking 20 fucking plants here, you know, a week later I started, you know, this, and that's because as they're coming up, they look fucking any bit funky, they're gone, you know what I mean? And then even when, you know, I'll get them, you know, I'll give them a little chance, I throw them into a bigger pot and they don't fucking start going, whoop, they're gone. Like I got probably 10 right now that are just about to get thrown in the fucking garbage. You know what I mean? Because they're just not there. Like I want to smoke good fucking bud. If the plant's not fucking, you know, taken off, then it's not going to be acceptable to me in the end. And I know that already. You know what I mean? So fucking, I have, you know, I got my veg tents filled with all sorts of shit and fucking the stuff that fucking's taken off, that's what's going to get. Everything else is going in the fucking garbage. Probably, I'm going to give it maybe another like 5 days, but I can already tell I'm at that point where I'm like, all right, let me, you know what, I'll give it a few more days because I have the room right now in there. You know what I mean? But for the most part, half that fucking tent's going in the garbage because it's just not there for me. You know what I mean? Like, I understand.
Yeah, so that's a great comment. I'd like to add on. I'd like to add on to that because on our last live that we ran, you had asked me, what got me into breeding. And that was one of my answers. What got me into breeding is what you kind of just described. I was a huge collector of cannabis genetics because I found out here in the U.S., even though it wasn't legal yet, I know it was legally medical and I hadn't had my medical card yet. It wasn't legally recreational, but I had, I've had black market friends my whole life to be able to get my weed because I've been smoking since I've been 14. And so I started buying all these from Attitude Seed Bank. I started buying, $500, $800 orders of seeds from Attitude. And it took about 5 or 6 years till I finally started popping them and growing them. And I found such an array of crappy genetics from stuff that had all this hype, of it being supposedly so good that only 1 out of 10 was actually turned out to be decent. That I realized that there was a huge gap in the market of good, what I called a good genetic, and that is something that can take a little bit of abuse. It can take being underwatered sometimes. It can take being overwatered. It can take the heat. It can take up you fucking up your nutrients, and you're not killing the plant. It may go into a little funk, but then she bounces back. She comes back twice as strong. There's something to be said about that type of genetic versus something that you fuck up once and it's, in the shitter for 3 months. It takes you 3 months to get that bitch back to where you can clone her and do anything with her. No way. None of us have time for that shit.
You know what? I'm in I'm in an apartment, so it's even fucking harder. You know what I mean? Like I make do with what I have, and I can get it if I need to. I get a decent amount of fucking plants going, but do I want to run fucking every light that I have, et cetera, et cetera? But the one thing is, there is a lot of shit out there. You know what I mean? Do your due diligence on fucking breeders, dude, because I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the worst shit I've had is some of the fucking biggest breeders out there. You know what I mean? Like they have, just because they fucking put it out doesn't mean it's good. It's the bee's knees. You know what I mean? Like some people are just stuck on like, oh, exotics putting it, they get like fucking, in a trance, exotics got a new drop. Let me tell you, I've had more herms from exotic shit. Fucking blueberry, fucking Gary, herm, fucking, what else had it? The herm, the fucking, dripping ain't easy, herm, fucking code red had a herm, fucking, and it's not me. I know it's not me because fucking it's a full-blown genetic herm where the entire fucking plant overnight just pop, just blown out herm. So I know it's not me doing it to it,
Wow.
But, I mean, and I can tell you, other ones as well. You know what I mean? Like it's insane, but some people just get on this fucking thing where just because they're putting it out doesn't mean it's good. You know what I mean? And then you got to also ask yourself about these guys that are dropping fucking 50, 60 fucking strains at a time, every 3 fucking 4 months. It's not doable. They cannot, it's just not, it's not feasible. I mean, what do you say, John, to that when you see these guys dropping these fucking 40, 50 strains and, you've seen it, every 3, 4, 5, 6 months, the same guy dropping fucking huge amounts of bullshit. I mean, there's no way it's hunted properly, right?
Yeah. So what I got to say to that question, and that's a really good question, because I can tell you right now, I'm guilty of crossing about 60 strains at a time. But
you wouldn't release them.
I don't release them on them. But here's also the thing. If you look at every time I do a drop, I bring in one new dad, and I'm hitting everything that I have already been growing on my last run. I clone that out because I know that's a good, solid plant. So you're going to see Portland Purple Kush Cake being bred with Juicy J. That's one I bred with White Truffle. That's one I bred with Sonic Truffle. That's one I bred with Tropicana Cookies. When I find a good strain, I keep it around. So I don't have to keep hunting, because if I hunt something, I spend 2 years. So if they're popping out with 60 new strains for one, and another thing is, I may do a cross with Portland Purple Kush Cake and Juicy J, but I'll tell you right now, I may have one plant and she's about yay big. I threw her in from clone, flipped her out. She's in a 1 gallon pot. I'm going to get maybe 150 seeds. So if you see some of my shit, I may only have 100, 200, 300 of them, because I am not throwing in. I'm throwing in one pheno. I'm not saying, oh, I'm popping a pack of these. I'm going to throw every pheno in from this pack of Code Blue, whatever, and I'm going to hit it with Juicy J. That's how breeders treat. They're really just breeding all the phenos. They're not taking the time to clone it. They're not taking the time to hunt these phenos out for the best one of them. They're just hitting a whole random, all kinds of different phenos of one strain, and then they mix it all together and say, okay, we got 10,000, Code Blues. Well, how the fuck did you do that so fast? You didn't clone that one. You didn't hunt that pheno that took 3 months to flower, 3 months to veg, a couple of months to clone. I mean, there's a year. So you're saying that in 6 months you hunted it, cloned it, and you made 10,000? How the hell did you do that? Teach me. Teach me how you did that.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like the shit's crazy, bro.
So that's where the variation is. You can create 60 strains at a time. I mean, I have a relatively large apartment. Shop. My shop I'm in, my ceilings are 30 feet. It's 2,500 square foot. Everything I have is in vertical systems. I pack in tents with 1 gallon plants. I do a lot of phenos because I want to see, you find unicorns by doing diversity. If I'm only crossing 8 plants every 6 or 7 months, whatever, then it takes so long to do it. I want to try and get a fair amount of phenos for variety to see which ones are really killing it. And you don't know till you grow. So you gotta do the breeding. Again, some of these strains are only 100 to 200 seeds available total because they're not in production yet. They're kind of in the testing stage for me. And then if I like it, then I'll come back and say, okay, I'm going to run 10 clones of that blueberry muffins this time on this next cross because I know that fucking I want to make more of those, and I already tested it. So some of these guys popping out with tons of these different strains just depends on how they're doing it, because it can be done, but it's taken me years. It's taken me 5 years to build the library I have right now to be able to say I have 60 really good strains I'm crossing Juicy DJ to right now. It took me that many years, and it takes every day of my life to keep them alive.
That's the whole trick of it, is keeping all that shit alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, all right. So we're gonna go a little light for a second here. So if you could cross any 2 strains in the world, no matter how wild or rare, what would the love child be, and what would you name it?
Geez, I don't think I've ever given that any thought, because I'm always exploring. So
if there was 2 that that, let's just say that went the way of the dodo or something, those ones that are just fucking impossible to find now, maybe, just 2 that you would love to get your hands on, let's just say.
Well, I'd have to say what's on my bucket list coming down the pipe that I am going to make a cross of. I bought the seeds of. Some of you guys might know it. It's called Future One. I don't know anything about it. I've got the seeds for it, but what I've read, it's 36 to 37% THC, made by Seeds, some company. I forget where they're at. One of you guys might remember. But they make Future One. They're out of the country. Bear with me, but Future One by Godfather's on my list. That's one that I've been really, really wanting to make. It's kind of I need to pop them, hunt out the Future One, and then in 10 months from now, I'll be breeding some Future One with Godfather. But she's been kind of on my bucket list. Let me read. Have you heard about Future One, Dave?
No, I'm actually fucking looking at it right now on I'm pulling it up right now to take a look.
Amnesia Seeds?
Amnesia Seeds, yeah. That's Original Glue and Starfighter. I love fucking Starfighter, bro. Yeah, Starfighter is one of my favorite strains, bro. That's it's pineapple-y, citrus, mango terps. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you looking at it?
I'm actually pulling up the picture right now. Hold on. Let's see the picture here. Oh, yeah. Oh, what a frosty fucking thing. She's got frost. There's all sorts of fucking different stuff going on with this thing. Wow. She's got a very distinct fucking look to her. I don't know. Hold on. If you guys can see this or not.
You don't have it set up to where you can pop stuff on the screen there, Dave?
Not on the phone. I can't do it on the phone. On the laptop, I just fucking set it up, right. And I couldn't do the laptop just now. But
yeah,
it's
that's right.
Anybody who fucking sees this, you're gonna love it. The terpene profiles are insane. I mean, you're just looking at fucking absolute. That's right up my alley, bro. Because I like that kind of shit. I like the fruity stuff, but like I said, I don't. The blueberry one, for some reason, like when it gets too blueberry, starts to get that ammoniated smell to me. But this sounds insane. Pineapple, fucking mango terpenes, original glue, and yeah, that shit looks crazy, bro. It's got some color on it, and it's got fucking pinks and purples and all sorts of shit in that one pheno they show.
Yeah, so that future one, I've been, I'm trying to hunt down to create a really high THC. Kind of my goal is just everything in my portfolio is just exceedingly high in THC levels. So then I can turn around and hit some of those high terpene profile plants that don't have high THC, steal the high terpene, steal the terpene profile, but bring in that high THC to where it checks all the boxes now. You're just getting some of those old school, really badass terpenes, but you're bringing the plant in at 33% THC or something. You know?
These are all, this is saying everything on this, all the testing is showing, 29, 28%, fucking 1% CBG, fucking 2% CBG, on all the, on the, what do you call it? On what it's showing on here, as far as that strain. So it's definitely got stuff that you want. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be interesting, bro. I can't wait till you fuck with that.
Yeah. So like I said, in our last live, I was saying, how lucky I was to come across and find that Godfather OG, because I see a lot of white label seeds, a lot of companies saying out there they got the Godfather OG, but they have it listed at 22, 25% THC. And that's because they don't really have the real Godfather, the one that made it, got recognized in 2017, I think it was, by High Times. You can look it up in High Times is the one that lists Godfather OG as one of the strongest strains in the world, testing at 35% THC back in 2017. And I was lucky to come across it, but it was on my radar. I'd been hunting for Godfather OG for about a year. And it turns out that the local dispensary and the local growery here in my in Oregon, and Oregon's pretty heavily invested in the cannabis industry and has been for a long time. So I got lucky and came across the clone of it. Otherwise, I'd still be hunting for it. That would be my what I'd be searching for. But now that I have that, now I want to find that really amazing pheno, Future One. And Fatso is supposed to be a really high T, 35% plus. So I want to have a whole bunch of 35% total positive, those unicorns that do hit that 35% THC, and just kind of start hammering away at breeding that really high THC dad into a whole bunch of the kind of medium to lower THC moms and making some, 30% all the way across the board.
Nice. So, let's see. So, what's one of the weirdest traits you've ever seen pop up in a test cross? Mutant leaves, terps that smelled like pickles, anything like that kind of weird shit?
Not on the terpene. Not on the terpene. Are you asking specifically terpene or just a really unique scenario?
Whatever the most unique scenario you've come across, as far as
I have a very unique scenario. Yeah, I have a very unique scenario. I was actually talking to Swin about this just the other day, because he thought he had a whole bunch of all my plants all of a sudden had little nut sacks, it looked like, but they were calyxes, we believe. Two he's verified are females, but he thought all of the strains that he were growing of mine were turned into males. I actually had a plant that had calyxes, and I still have one now. It has calyxes all over, but this one particular plant, no pollen, in veg, pop calyxes, and in each calyx, there was a seed. There was one calyx at every node, and it had a seed in every node, and there was no pollen donor. No That's pollen cool. In the room. In veg.
That is fucking strange, dude. That is really strange. It is
the strangest thing I've ever experienced. It's like a self-creating, self-pollinating with no pollen female in veg produced seeds. I probably pulled about 20 seeds off this plant. There were no buds. It was in veg.
Huh.
But every pollen sac
were they viable?
I didn't pop any. I just saved them. I threw them in the freezer. So I was kind of a little afraid to pop them because I didn't know what I was going to find. I don't know if it was going to wreck my breeding, like accidentally do anything in my breeding program. I just didn't want to take the risk. But they'll be there down the road when I have time to play with them.
I'm curious about that, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's really fucking weird. You know, like I don't think I've ever heard that before. You know,
I can't find any information. I've talked to every grower that had some substantial experience, and no grower I know has ever seen it either. So yeah, I'm still puzzled on what the hell that was.
All right, nice. All right, so here I got a question for you. So be truthful with this. Have you ever made a strain just to flex up on another breeder? Like, yeah, try and beat that one, bro. You know, or is that
that's another really good question. I do. I actually try and flex up on myself every round. Every round, I am my own competitor. I don't care about any other breeder out there. I honestly don't. But I am in competition with myself. I want to be able to up myself every time. Every time I come around to the breeding table, I got to outdo myself from my previous one. And I try and figure out how do I do that? And that's my biggest challenge is if, keep getting better, creating something better and better. I've got a few testers out there, and they keep coming back saying, Stefan is one of them. I was chatting with him last night. He's testing my one-to-one crocus, THC bred with some CBD pollen. And
he was just telling me
so far, each time he says each neck you've given me has been better than the last one. And I just told him I'm sending you more testers. It's like I got to really think on how I can up myself on sending you something better than what you've already gotten.
So, all right. So here we go. So if you could breed a strain for a cartoon character, who's getting their own cultivar and what is it like?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that again?
All right. If you could breed a strain for a cartoon character, who's getting their own cultivar and what is it like? Is it Scooby Doobies? Shaggy's OG? What is it? What would it be?
I like that. I've kind of already played down that. I already kind of played down that theme a little bit. It's the Hercules, for Godfather OG.
Oh, okay. Okay. I actually seen that at the graphic the other day when I was looking at your site. I actually seen that. The dude standing there like this over the fucking letters. I seen that shit.
Yeah. So let me while we're talking about that, let me find that here. Because I actually have a pretty cool on my phone. I think I have a pretty cool graphic with that one. I had fun with it for sure.
I actually seen that. It stood out too when I was on the thing. That's funny you said that. I was like, look at this fucking guy, Hercules. Because you know what? There's a movie I was watching the other night when I looked at it. It was Eddie Murphy movie where he plays like all the fat people. The clumps, and one of the things he's going Hercules.
Yeah, so that one there's for Lava God.
I like that one, dude.
That graphic there, I'm pretty happy with. I'm trying to find. I've got.
I like that one, dude. What do you make of those?
That one there.
You're doing that. That's AI or is that a graphic program?
Yeah, that one there. I'm doing with AI.
I love AI, bro. I really do. At first, I thought, if it's used in the wrong way, it's fucked up. But if you use it in the way that, benefits yourself,
that's the one I was talking about. And then I animated it. So it's on my website just as a graphic. But then when I learned to start animating, isn't that cool?
It looks like he's air dicking.
So I'm trying to work this in the there we go.
He's a world-class air dicker. He's like
yeah. So that one there's really cool. I do want to share one that I did as well.
Hold on, we're losing you, John.
I see you. Can you hear me?
Hold on, you're breaking up, John. Yeah, now I got you.
Okay.
Put
So
it back
one
up.
I'm
We
just
lost you for
hunting
a
through
second.
right now is the Mac Pimp that I
Oh
animated.
shit!
That
Look at
one.
that, dude. That's fucking. Yo, that's cool as hell, bro. I like that. And imagine you could get the packs to look like that, bro. Like a graphic on a pack that fucking came alive like that. That would be insane. Oh
Yeah.
man, I bet you it'll come. I guarantee you, bro. Guarantee you, 5 years from now, there's shit like that out. I mean, that would be dope, bro. Getting the fucking pack and you take it out the box and the fucking thing's dancing.
Yeah.
I like that. What's in that one?
Pretty cool.
What's in that one? What's the
So
Mac
that
Pimp?
one there is Mac 1 by Godfather G. And funny story about that one is
okay.
I just had a scenario where I had to pull out all my moms to either chop them down and or re-veg them because I had a fan on the floor that was blowing that I only use it during the summertime when it's really hot. Well, I didn't clean that fan out and I kicked it when I was watering and I had a whole bunch of plants in the flower and it blew. I think it blew some residual pollen because I saw some recessed pistils on some plants and I hadn't pollinated quite yet. And I'm like, damn it, I kicked that fan and I saw a whole bunch of dust come out of the fan. And I'm like, I know that just pollinated some of my plants. So I chopped everything down except for one of my tents. I kept them, re-vegged them. Today I just cut it. She's a pretty good sized mom, but she's in the re-veg mode right now. And dude, she was the frostiest one out of all these strains that I'm hunting right now. Is the Mac 1 by Godfather. It's
just
fucking
a mistake like that. That's crazy, bro. Just some weird, random shit. Yeah. And where's that one at now? That's available?
Yeah, that's on my website.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that one, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fuck with that one. And yeah, I like that kind of shit, bro. That's right up my alley. Mac, I'll tell you, some of the best stuff has that Mac backbone, man. You know what I mean? Like Mac just gives off. There's certain stuff like people always fucking, shit on me about my Peyton Infinity. I love Peyton, bro. I think it just makes stuff so good. But Mac's another one, man. You could throw Mac with almost anything, and it's just fucking and Mac's in there. That's the thing. Like it's not even like you throw it in there and it loses itself. It's in the fucking. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. Like Peyton too. Peyton, when you put it in something, you grow it. Peyton's in it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those kind of fucking cultivars, And I'm sure that's exactly with the Godfather OG too. I'm sure it's the same thing. It's fucking there. There's nothing worse than when you get something and there's the one side of it just fucking completely overpowers it, but the other side you don't even know it's there. You know what I mean? Like you're like, all right, so I'm growing fucking truffles and fucking whatever. And all I got is truffles here. You know what I mean? That is the worst. I hate that more than anything. I've thrown plants away in flower because of that, because I wanted, like what the thing is. And I've grown 5 or 6 of them and just never get, it's always the one, and I hate that shit, bro. There's, what do you call it? Was like that. The fuck one was it? There was a gelato fucking strain that I did for, and it was, supposed to be like a fruit gelato, you know what I mean? Like fruity gelato. It was Fruity Pebbles gelato. And there was no fucking pebbles at all. It was just every single one came out gelato. There was no pebble. You wouldn't even know pebbles was in it. You know what I mean? It was terrible. And I kept trying. Oh, who we got?
I brought a guest star, Dave. We were just chatting about something the other day. This is one of the first clones coming out. She's a pretty damn good, it's not the stockiest, but she is not weak by any means. She's got really big stems. She's still just a baby, right? I'm going to take some clones off of this, but she's just a baby. She's in a 5-inch pot. This is the, you're telling me about the strain the other day that was total shit, but this is my keeper pheno of Blue Lobster by Godfather OG.
Oh, bro, that's the Blue Lobster. I mean, I got that it killed me the other day, bro, when I got that fucking, oh, bro, I've been looking for Blue Lobster and then fucking, what do you call it? What is that, Cypher or whatever the fuck it is, their name is?
Chris
they sold out so fast.
Compound Genetics.
Yeah, they sold out so fucking fast on those lobsters that you couldn't get them.
Yeah.
And then people fucking had them for stupid prices. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. You know what I mean? And I got it. Fucking fugazi. You know? Just sad, bro. Sad. Sad day.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Like I was telling you, I hunted a pack of Blue Lobster S1, and I found one pheno out of that pack that just, it's fucking stellar. Like, it just, every time I clone it, it clones, it grows fast, it's vigorous. It's just, it smells amazing. The big buds coming off of it, tons of pistils. She's a rock star. And the terpene profile on it, it's pretty strong and, on the fruity side. So I think the cross with the OG, the Godfather OG with the Blue Lobster, I'm looking at the phenos. I just hunted out a whole bunch of stuff myself on my Godfather run, so I can have phenos of that to make crosses with. And man, they're stout. They're really nice.
Nice. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna parlay this into my my next series of questions, which I call cultivation meets creativity. All right. This section kind of, about grow style and et cetera, So first question would be, what role does growing style, soil, hydro, LED, HPS play in how your genetics express themselves?
I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I'll go ahead and answer it anyway.
Well, all right. Now, if you get better results with your genetics growing under HPS, back in the day, or under LED versus growing in living soil versus growing in fucking, let's say, cubes, you know what I mean? Like shit like that, like that kind of stuff. What do you what is the best style that you've come up with that gives your genetics their best expression? If let's say you're telling a grower, like, this is how I do it, and my shit is like this. I recommend, like, what would you say?
So, to answer the question fairly, I would say I have to grow with a style that fits my particular need as a breeder right now, versus if I was a grower. If I was growing right now and I had a limit to 4 plants, I would say I'd be growing in those octopots like you grow in. Everybody I see growing in those octopots, I'd do cocoa perlite 50-50, and I really like the nutrients. That would be what I would do right now. Now, if I was outdoors, I'm going organic. I'm not going to do organic indoors. I'm not going to do organic with breeding. I've done hydro. Hydro is pretty awesome, but I can't do that with me breeding. I can't flower out the 300 plants in hydro, pull them and harvest all these different phenos of all these different seeds and take my plants out and defoliate, take my plants out. I pick up all my plants in flower 5 different times. So I have to physically be able to pick them up, inspect them for any herms, so I make sure I don't have any fucking loose pollen, defoliate, clean up all this shit, and put them back in. I do that about 5 times every cycle. So my style is 1 gallon pots, so I can fit a whole bunch in a tent. I like that they get thirsty every other day, because that means I get to water them. I don't get any root rot. They grow with explosive growth. And I don't do organics because I'd have to clean my reservoirs every day. And so I go with the nutrients, and their stuff is super clean. I can run my reservoir over and over and over, and I don't have any gunk. It's crystal clear, and it can sit there for 2 days and bubble, just with an air bubbler to keep it aerated. No slime. The pH doesn't drift. No nothing. So I've done every style under the book. I've done every style on the book, but when I was doing a black market grow, blood drain in a 1 gallon hydro pot, just hammered it and hit it at home run every time. I was pulling 4 pounds of light. So 4 pounds of light is pretty good.
Yeah, but, it definitely is.
HPS, LED, all that stuff, all these different things. I got to keep my heat down, so I have to go with the LED. The HPSs, they're like 3,000 degrees. If pollen, and I'm pollinating, pollen blows by, I've got a million pieces of pollen going right by the light because the wind's blowing, and it gets close to that light. I'm pretty sure that pollen just got toasted.
Yeah, right.
By that HPS, 3,000 watts or 3,000. They get like 3,000 degrees or whatever. So I grow with LEDs in my flower tents for breeding, so it's not killing my pollen. It's not mutating my pollen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I just filled up my octos. I just filled up my octos with the nutrients today. When was it? Last night? What? Last night? No. Just today. What the fuck's today? Today's Thursday. So actually, today. Today I did it. You know, I screwed up because I was laid up in the hospital for a couple of days with my stomach. So I actually got out today, came home and fucking fed them. It should have been done already. You know what I mean? But I just filled them up. I like it, dude. The nutrients is good shit, man. It's nice, fucking easy, calm, you know, clean. I'm going to run a couple of bubble buckets with it. So the root spa buckets, I'm gonna run a few of those and see how they come out with that stuff because it's so clean, bro. You know, I like it a lot. So
yeah, Scott B right now is running an Octopot and the nutrients, and he's running my what I call King of Kings, which is my Godfather OG CBD by my Godfather OG THC. So it's a 1-to-1 that I call King of Kings. He has grown at monster. He's doing so fantastic. He gives me readings on his nutrients. Good. He gives me readings almost every day. You know, every 2-3 days at least. And dude, his ppms are holding. We kept climbing till we got to a spot. Now we're at a spot where it's holding about 1,500 ppms on a pretty steady as the reservoir goes up and down in water, but the ppms don't fluctuate all over, and the pH holds right at like 6.2 on the nuts every fucking time he calls me. 6.2. That's what he gave it. That's what it's at. It doesn't shift. It doesn't drift. No rancid, nothing, dude. That thing is just hammering. And that's why I love the nutrients. You know, it's what do they say? More frost, less cost. The thing is growing like a beast. It's it's just heading into flower now. And the frosty, the bulk, the size, the cleanliness, that it's one of the cheapest I can find on the market. It checks all the boxes for a nutrient line in my book.
Yeah, dude, it's easy to use, dude. It's so easy to use. You know, and like I do it, I gas off fucking New York City tap water, and I fucking don't pH it. You know what I mean? I fucking check my ppms. My ppms usually around 70 when after I gas it off. I slap that shit in it. It's fucking sitting perfect. That like 6.5, 6.3, 6.5. I forgot which one it is. It's written down, but it sits fucking every time. When I did it last round, every fucking time I did it, I didn't even have to go. I got to the point where I didn't even have to check the shit no more. You know, I knew it was going to fucking hit the mark. You know what I mean? Like I use, listen, not to badmouth companies or anything like that, but there's fucking a couple of companies out there that fucking, I've never had more pH and more fucking swings with their nutrients. The unstable, because they're literally using, like repurposed fucking soybean nutrients and shit they're buying from companies and stuff like that. I know a couple guys who do this. And the stuff's not made for fucking growing weed, but it's now used to grow weed with. And fucking, it has no stabilization because they're throwing it out in these fucking fields. The fields are, buffering it basically. You know what I mean? So you get this stuff, you put it in at 6.5, and next thing you know, you look, it's at 8.9. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a joke. And they don't see it, and it's like, and I just keep seeing people chasing this fucking same nutrient line, and you know what I'm talking about too. And a lot of people have problems in the octopots with it, and the fucking shit soars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the worst, bro. It's why have to deal with that bullshit? You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah,
and
like
you're getting it fucking 70% cheaper.
Yeah. So like my scenario, at one of I've kind of downsized my breeding. I was running 2 facilities, but I was working a full-time job, and I was doing about 2,000 plants. I was doing micro breeding where straight out of the clone, it's a 4-inch pot, and I'm a flood drain system, and I packed a room with 1,000 plants. And I was doing that plus the facility I'm at now. So I was working day and night. I ran myself into the ground. So I stopped doing that. But in this scenario, what I'm getting to is that I would be filling a 250-gallon reservoir to refill my flood drain systems. And I'd mix that shit. And before I started doing the nutrients, I'd get it dialed in perfect. It's right at 6.3. I come in the next day, and now it's at 7.0. I'm like, damn it! What's now I gotta sit here and wait for my pH down to mix in this 250 gallons of water, and I got to redial it in. Once I switch to nutrients, that shit just holds. I can come back a week later in that 300-gallon reservoir. It's exactly what when I left and I came back, it says the same thing.
Yeah, bro. I mean, not for nothing. If you're using even with these octopods, people are fucking having these issues with these nutrient lines using fucking living soils and stuff. You know what I mean? Which should buffer the fuck out of it. If you're doing it right, it should be buffering that crap anyway. And you're still not even able to fight the fucking pH on it. You know what I mean? Like the plants just go to shit too. You start seeing problems with the plants, and it's like the fucking soil can't even buffer this crap. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Because I literally have I know some. You know how it goes with using certain soils. You can get away with shit because it'll buffer. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But when you can't even when the best of rhizospheres can't fucking even make right with some of this shit, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that you shouldn't be going around, But I knew the fucking price is insane, bro. You get what? Like you get with the discount and all that shit. You can get a gallon of each stuff for like $200, whatever the hell it is, or something like that, right? It's like something crazy, right?
I think it turns out to be like you get a gallon for. I'm trying to remember the pricing on it. It's the cheapest I can find, dude, and I'm just blown away with the results that I get with it.
And you
don't need
a lot of it.
I think a gallon is 30. I forget, $32 maybe. I don't buy gallons. I buy a minimum of 2.5 gallon, but normally I buy the 5-gallon jugs.
Yeah, that's what I get. The 5 gallons from different. Well, House and Gardens, I use a couple things because that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like I like to tell people, like, listen, I've used it. It's good because nothing pisses me off more than being ignorant to when a person asks me a question about something. So
yeah,
in when you having the group and everything like that, I've had that unique ability to scan between nutrient lines for years now. You know what I mean? And plus growing for so many years, but I'd have to say that as far as costly, stable, effective, Newts is probably fucking one of my top 2,
Yeah, so I've used House and Gardens. I actually did that flood drain system I was telling you about. I was pulling 4 pounds of light. 4 pounds, when I say a light, those were Gavita, 1,000 watts, cranked to their 115%, to be fair. So you're talking, a 1,200 watt Gavita on the super bright mode, and using the House and Gardens is what I did. And then House and Gardens is great, but now we're talking about price factor. And dude, you open that House and Gardens A and B mix, you're like, holy crap, what is you smell synthetic. You open that Nutrients, every bottle you come across, some of them smell like candy. You can mix up 2,000 ppm mix of nutrients, and dude, hold it up like this. It's still crystal clear. It looks just like water. It smells like absolutely nothing. They only color it just so you can get a feel for, like, oh, I know the darker one is the darker orange one is my calcium, and this lighter orange one is my silica. The purple one's always flour. The green one's always veg. So I can see if I've got all my shit mixed up and I don't have labels on them, I know which one's what.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that they do that also. I do like that because I've actually grabbed the fucking same bottle twice in a row of other nutrient lines, because it's all fucking clear. You know what I mean? And then realized it and been like, motherfucker, and have to throw away. There's nothing worse than having to throw away 30, 40 gallons of fucking newt water. And that, I mean, to me, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, to have to fucking use that much at once, to throw it away, that means now I'm fucking down, this many buckets, or whatever the fuck I'm using. It kills me to have to do that, bro. And then cost, who the fuck wants to throw that shit away, dude?
Yeah. I've got multiple reservoirs at my place because I got my flower side, I got my veg side, and I just have one water room where all my nutrients are. So I'm walking in my flower room. I've got 3 different things of nutrients in one hand, 3 in the other. None of them are labeled. And I never even thought about it till now, but luckily they're color coded because I don't have to label any of them. I know exactly what they are. I'm walking into the other room, I set them all down, and I'm like, okay, I know this one goes first by its color. I know that bright orange one, which is silica, that one's first. The darker orange one that goes next, that's calcium. Then my green one, that's my veg. And then just go by the colors. I don't have to write anything down, so it is super cool.
Yeah, I'm such a stoner. Whenever I get the shit, I number them, fucking, because I literally, I'll fuck up. Like I'm just like that. Like I have a problem with forgetting things like super fast. So I'll turn like around. Dave. Yeah, I'll turn around. The story. And so, you know what I mean? Like my memory is just fucking blown. So now I fucking literally, every time I get nutrients, I fucking look at the thing and I sit there like a fucking little kid and I number every bottle like an idiot so that I put them up and, you know.
Right.
All right. So, all right. So well, this is my next.
Someone's asking about King of Kings on the website. It is not listed on the website. Someone dropped can't find King of Kings on the website. It's not there. You got to contact me directly for that. Right now, it's currently in testing. That's why it's not on the website.
John, you want to let? Can I put your email up?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my email sales at Big Dogg Exotic Genetics. So sales at Big Dogg Exotic Genetics.com is my email.
I'm gonna put a banner up now.
And yeah, Steven, he tested the King of Kings, and Scott right now he's running the King of Kings. And then that's my website listed right there. And then the email, I use my original website. It's just sales at BigDoggExoticGenetics.com. Where you go to buy my seeds is the BigDoggNovelties.com.
Screen there. All right, there you go, guys. There's his email. You can hit him up there if anything that you're hearing that's not on the website. All right.
Yep, definitely hit me up directly. There's a lot of things I don't have on the website. I'm going to do some rotating of some things out, new things in. I do have a lot of different genetics, and I don't want it to be too overwhelming. So I only put up some of them, and some of them I may have a super low quantity. So you've got to get a hold of me, become friends with me, chat it up with me, and ask me if I've got certain things that, you know, I may only have 20 or 30 seeds left of them, so I'm not going to waste my time putting them on the website. To sell.
I hit him. You know, I hit you up like every fucking 3 days.
Put all the time into it to sell 6 packs of seeds and then say it's sold out.
Yeah. I hit him up like every 3 days. I'm like, what's new? What do you got cloning? What do you got fucking? What's new over here? I'm like the biggest pain in the ass with that, bro. Because I'm always, because like I said, I'm always fucking, you know, I run a lot of shit. People don't see how much stuff I'll actually do, you know, run, and I throw away so much crap, man. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always asking, because I'm always cycling in my head, like, you know, like, what do I want to do? And then you'll pop up and be like, oh, I got fucking, you know, this one that's coming with 38%, whatever the, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, you know, yeah, that's where I'm trying to go. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always asking about it, because there's just so much fucking garbage, bro. Like, it's just, you know, it's insane. So this takes us into our next category here. I call it culture, industry, and legacy. So how do you keep it real in an industry that's flooded with hype, buyouts, and watered down genetics?
What was the first part of it? Sorry, I was reading messages on the screen. What was the question?
Oh, sorry, dude. How do you keep it real in an industry that's flooded with hype strains, buyouts, and watered down genetics? How do you keep it real in an industry like this these days?
Well, I keep it real by starting right here where I'm sitting. I do not breed with bullshit. My reputation is the only thing I have in this industry. I can have the fanciest logo. I can have the deepest pockets. I can have a magazine ad in High Times and plastered all over the world. It don't matter. My reputation is 110% built on you guys trusting me enough to buy one of my packs. And after you've grown them, you're like, holy crap. Most of what I hear is, I've never grown genetics like this before, and I've grown for 20, 30 years. And this is actually stellar. It's so robust, so easy to grow. Just an excellent performing genetic, and checked all the boxes, and then they trust me to buy another pack. Most of my customers are repeat customers, and so I keep it real by being real with myself and saying, can I give that? I'm my worst critic. If I wouldn't grow it myself, I'm definitely not going to sell it to you guys.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't care if the fucking. Sorry, Dave, I'm cutting you off, but I don't care if the strain has all this hype. For example, you know, the greasy runts. I grew it. Oh, dude, one of the worst, floppiest, and we know the breeder on that one. Same thing with a lot of their genetics. They are not. They don't have that vigor that Big Dog Genetics is what we build our name on.
That greasy runts is dog shit. As far as I didn't like it at all. No, it's not a good strain, man. That shit was so fucking hyped up. And there's a lot of people who think that shit's like the bee's knees, bro. It's disgusting. You know, it was not a good.
When you get flower off it, and you're not going to pull a lot because it's a very low producer. It's a very scraggly plant. It's not vigorous. You got to scrog it. And it's a very weak plant, but if you give it 110%, you're going to get some quality smoke, no doubt. I'm not going to say that, but if you're a new kind of grower, you're going to have so many problems with that plant, and you're not even going to pull maybe an ounce off of it.
Yeah,
you know, because it's just not going to be a producer. So stuff like that. So to answer your question, is I keep it real by saying, okay, I just bought this clone. I paid $450 for a clone of RS11 a couple years ago. It's in the trash now. It did not perform next to a whole bunch of the genetics that I'm used to working with. Did it have some good qualities? Yes, but is it something I want to put my name on? No, not really. I'm going to keep hunting through other stuff. And cereal milk, just to kind of give you guys something. Cereal milk's coming down the pipe, crossed with Juicy J.
I like
that blueberry muffins. I've been breeding with that at F9. So Juicy Blueberry, or Blueberry Juice, excuse me. Blueberry Muffins by Juicy J. I mean, come on, guys. Like, a whole bunch of different really fun strains coming down the pipe. And keeping it real is the number one with me. When I look at them and I'm saying, I'm impressed with this strain, I'm going to breed with it. That strain shit, I'm throwing it away. I do that daily. Every day I'm finding something. What else can I throw away to make room for something better?
This parlays into the next question. So what's a strain that deserves way more respect than it gets? And what's one that's just the most overrated,
Yeah. The overrated, I would have to say the RS11, I think, was pretty pumped that I wasn't. And it's okay, but just not to my standards. But I was really disappointed with that. And one that probably, is just reading it. It's kind of one of the older strains that just kind of dissipated. I was reading the article on LinkedIn, Dave, actually. It was saying testing killed our granddaddy perps.
Because I seen that.
Yeah, so they're saying you'd only test it at 22, 23% THC, and everybody wants this 30% or better. So Granddaddy Perps isn't making it into the dispensaries anymore. It's not making it into the clone banks. It's not making it into breeders' hands because they're like, it doesn't have the buzz on it anymore. So I'm circling back around to Granddaddy Perps. And that'd probably be the number one on my list.
So here's one for you. So if you could have smoked one strain with any breeder, cannabis icon, past, present, who would it be? And what strain would you bring to the sesh?
So I don't really idolize movie stars, rock stars. I don't idolize anybody, really.
I think false idols.
That being said, if I were to have to say I had a choice to pick from somebody right now, I'd say it was it Joe Cervantes? I think he's repping Seedman's now, or he is Seedman, or something like Jorge Cervantes, I think is his name.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of his stuff. He goes way back. He's super cool, super chill, super smart, just super down to earth. I love his style. I would say I would like to bring a fucking joint of super truffles his way, because that super truffles, I'm not joking. That thing's got it's a powerhouse of some rotten, gassy, stanky. My local rec grow grows the cut that I hunted that tests at 32% THC, super frosty, pretty decent yielder. But that thing is just ranky, stanky, and a couple puffs, you're in a different universe, dude. It hits you. It hit me and everybody else that smokes it so dang hard. It's a high of its own. So I would have to say
Sonic Truffles. I actually grew that. It looks the one I had, the fucking thing was so caked with trichomes. It looked silver almost, like it had like a silver haze to it. It was just absolutely insane. You know, he did good with that fucking one, bro.
Yeah,
he really
Nolan
did.
at TNT Genetics did really good. Yeah, I bought the breeder cut from him. He's pretty reasonable. I think I bought that cut of Sonic Truffle from him for like $250, I think it was.
You got your fucking money's worth out of that, dude.
Oh, man. I wasn't even planning on using it as the dab, but my lemon banana sherbet I was going to use as the dab failed. And the only plant I had that was as strong, staring at me face saying, "Pick me, I'm the strongest in the room," was the Sonic Truffles. And I had like 8 really good sized moms. So I'm like, damn, I can use 4 moms to reverse and I can keep 4 moms to pollinate. And you're screaming me in the face because big old huge leaves, big old stalks, just stinky, sticky and veg. She was staring at me in the face, but I didn't really want to use her because it's not really my style to take someone else's genetics that I bought from them and use as my dad. I'll use it as a mom, but I'll try and find something else to use as a dad. But my lemon banana sherbet, there was a failure in making pollen with it. And I had all these plants. I had 2,000 plants on deck to flower out. I already cut them back twice just so I can now flip Sonic Truffles into making pollen for me. But it cost me 2 months. And so accidentally, I had to use Sonic Truffles, and I don't regret it at all. But my point being is Nolan, TNT Genetics, I want to give him props. He's a great breeder, and that Sonic Truffles is he's won, I think, 3 times now the extraction award in the city or town or state he lives in. The highest extraction award on a squishing event, whatever, pulls like 30% extraction.
Wow. Yeah, I think, bro, I that's one. It was, it's a beast. You know what I mean? It's a beast. Yeah. And of course,
and guess it's got the Gary Payton in it.
Fucking Payton, baby. You know, it's bro. I'm telling you, man, that Payton, bro, that Payton. So,
I know.
All right. So now this is what I'm gonna call 10 bizarre stoner questions. All right. If terpenes could talk, which one would never shut the fuck up, and which one would be plotting murder in silence?
Oh, they're going to take me too hard to go down that rabbit hole. I don't have the answers done. And we don't have. Let's go to the next question. I'm not super big on the terpene. I like how to generalize it and talk about the terpenes.
You're trapped on a desert island with one strain, one piece of grow gear. What are you growing, and how are you powering that shit?
Grow gear. You know,
you're stuck on a desert island with one strain, one piece of grow gear. What are you growing, and how are you going to power it? Well, the sun.
Yeah, I would say I would pack on that Godfather OG with me. She's just a beast. She has my heart. So I would take that Godfather OG and grow gear. I would have to say. You know, if I could only pick one thing, I would need a pair of scissors. If we got the sun, and we already got the light covered by the sun, a pair of scissors would be a must.
Yeah, right. So, would you rather have a plant that grows buds shaped like tiny cheeseburgers, or one that smells like stripper perfume?
I'm fond of the stripper perfume myself sometimes. Especially when I'm at the strip club.
Right. You open a new pack you open a new pack and the steeds start whispering. What are they saying? And do you still pop them?
They're all whispering, "Pick me, no, pick me." They're all fighting because I always run half a pack and keep a half a pack in reserve, unless it's only a 3-pack or something. But I always have to keep some in case there's any type of failure. So it's always a battle for me. They're always talking to me, saying, pick me, no, pick me," and that's always that's going up in my head too.
All right, so let's see here. What else do I got here for? Would you rather smoke a? No, I don't like that one. All right, hold on a second. I gotta go back now to my other questions. I don't want to. Some of these get a little bit too fucking bizarre.
Jay just sent a message saying, "Miss y'all. Grandpa's doing okay."
Oh yeah. I just actually seen that. It's good to hear, man. Fucking, you'll be back next week, dude. Don't worry, man. You know, Grandpa's more important than sitting here with us right now. You know what I mean? So, so where the hell was it? Damn, I had a fucking one. I just wanted to ask you too. Oh, so is there a strain that you've come across that just you can't get to fucking to work? Like, is there one that's just the bane of your existence that you've come at? Just, you know, it just can't get it to pollinate or something. You know what I mean? You can't get it to reverse. It's just like a strain that's just a fucking nightmare that you've come across.
You know, yeah, there's a couple of them. The lemon banana truffles that I use, or excuse me, the lemon banana sherbet. She's always a pain in my ass. She doesn't grow very stocky, thick. She isn't as vigorous as a lot of stuff that I play with. But having those test results and having a local growery that grew it hitting 39% THC, I've just got to keep her around. And everybody seems to really like that white truffle cross to that lemon banana sherbet. You know, it won the couple first place or the first and second place in your event that you had. And there's a lot of other people. Yeah, there are a lot of people that grew it that really like it. How it grew, I've got a local, that Rec Dry guy here locally, the Hug Farms I was telling you about earlier. He's growing some of that lemon banana truffles as well. So I got to keep around that lemon banana sherbet, even though she's a pain in my ass.
It's a good strain, dude. It's a good strain, you know.
And to be honest, that blueberry muffins pheno that I have, she grows like a bush. She will never grow straight up. She's always grown out. She never has a main cola. She's got a whole plethora of colas. And she doesn't ever have any big stalks. But if it hadn't been for the fact that I've grown her so many times and that just blueberry essence, and she's an F9 and she is frosty, but she is a fucking pain in the ass, man. She doesn't grow with the qualities that I like. Luckily, I'm always bringing a rock star as a dad to the table that makes that blueberry muffin grow better. Otherwise, I'd toss that bitch a long time ago too.
So, all right. So I'm going to go with 10. These are going to be 10 questions basically geared towards, you know, towards breeding and whatnot. And then I'd like to get into just do a couple of, trivia questions with the audience and stuff like that. I like to give away some kind of an Aero Mixer gift certificate every week, you know, like we did.
By the way, Dave, I've only got 20 minutes left.
Okay, so perfect. So here we go. Let's get these done. You ready? Yep. What's your personal definition of the perfect plant? And have you come close to breeding it yet?
So it's kind of like calling yourself the master grower, that you know it all. Once you reach perfection, I think your standards might be too low. I'm always trying to outdo myself, so the level of perfection is constantly climbing the ladder. So that's pretty hard to say, but amazing. I come across a lot of amazing plants, but unfortunately, there are ones that I have to I bred and growing myself right now. Like a lot of the Godfather crosses are blowing away just a lot of the stuff I've ever grown that I've been breeding with. And I'm like, why am I still breeding with that when I have this over here that is just literally twice the plant? So there's kind of that. side of it. But to me, once I reach what I think is perfect, it's like, how do we outdo that?
I hear you on that one. All right. So when making a new cross, what's more important to you, the mother's traits or the male's influence, or how they dance together genetically?
The dancing together genetically is absolutely my my pet peeve. It's when you bring that's what's created a lot of the rock stars in the industry is Landrace strains from two different parts of the country that share nothing in common with each other. When they get bred together, it creates what's called hybrid vigor. So genetically, to me, that's the most important. So like Juicy J, it's got, jealousy, it's got cap junkie. So you figure out what's in jealousy and cap junkie. So I go down the whole lineage pool of what's in the dad. And when I go to breed it to something, for example, I'm not going to be expecting a whole lot out of the cross when I breed that Juicy J to Biscotti, because Biscotti's in jealousy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to get much genetic diversity and much hybrid vigor out of that. So I really study the moms and dads and how they're going to come together with their lineage, and that I'm not overlapping lineage that's already there, because now I'm just recreating something similar to something that's already there. So it's not going to make it unique or special. So it's all about genetic diversity.
Cool. All right. So in your eyes, what separates a good breeder from a great one?
A good breeder knows what they're doing, and a great one gives up their life to do it every day.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I like that because, it's part-time breeders. You can just you can tell when someone's got not that the whole fucking heart and passion is behind it. You know what I mean? Like you can. It comes across, bro. It really does. It comes across. And there's nothing worse than fucking when you get something and the person didn't do any fucking work. You know what I mean? Like you just like there's no way they hunted fucking good stuff for this. It's like. And then you try again, it's the same shit, it's just nothing worse.
Another note throwing down the great breeder side. To me, what makes a great breeder is being able to keep your good genetics, your amazing genetics you find, keeping those things alive, keeping them in good health. So you're not always hunting new shit that could be crap. You have good shit and you're keeping it alive and you're breeding it together as a purpose because, hey, I know this dad and this mom, and I already know the mom very well because I've been breeding with her for 3 years because you've kept it alive for 3 years, all on top of a really good library of other genetics.
Yeah, you kind of answered one of my next questions. It was, how do you approach genetic stability? What steps do you take to ensure your gear breeds true generation after generation? So you kind of just fucking, kind of hit on it a little bit right there, So, yeah. So here's one for you. How much of your work is guided by instinct and art versus lab data and scientific analysis? I mean, do you use both, or is it more instinct, or what would you say on that?
So everything I do, I'm really, I hyperanalyze. How can I create a hybrid system to get the best of both worlds? So I create use the art and the passion and the instinct from being like a plant whisperer and knowing your plants and knowing, how to treat them, what they need and what not to do, what to do, knowing that aspect, and then knowing how to use applied science to say, okay, extra aeration and if I use applying proven scientific facts with that art, passion, and everything. It's a hybrid system is what I try to achieve.
That works for me. I like that because in the reality it is. I mean, even if you're a home grower and you're taking notes in your notebook, you're taking data, you're accumulating data points. You know what I mean? You're building a fucking database. So, you go back and look at it, and just because you're not a fucking scientist doesn't mean it's not scientific when it comes back to running that strain again. You have data, you know what I mean? So it's like I get what you're saying. Like there's just a combination of everything, you know what I mean? But home growers should take that in mind too, But so where are we here? What's one trait you believe every serious breeder should be selecting for, but most don't hit the mark?
Sorry, say that again. My phone was going off.
That's okay. What's one trait you believe every serious breeder should be selecting for, but most don't hit the mark? Or just
I would
don't,
say it's the one that is my biggest pet peeve, and that is that fucking monster plant that can take all this massive abuse, and she's still over in the corner getting abused and coming back to life. And that mom may not be amazing, but if you can take a clone and reset her again, and she comes back in full glory, that's what a lot of genetics are missing, is just that strength, that vigor. I think too many people are chasing the hype names, and they're breeding because they in their mind they just say, I want to breed with this to breed with it. Versus I like to come at it with are you strong? Are you strong? That I think that a lot of breeders are missing the mark on really chasing the vigor is one of the key points of the genetic or the pheno that they select.
I think there's a lot of way too much fucking follow the leader. There's way too many Indians in the industry fucking that just fucking follow what the guy's doing. Tom and Harry fucking put out this and they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the biggest problems in the industry is that there's not enough originality with strains. You just get people that fucking hype train the shit out of everything. And somebody comes out with this, 700 other fucking the same bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just, I think that's one of the biggest things that's with the industry is like that, is that there's not enough, there's way too few chiefs and way too many Indians. You know what I mean? It's that Pied Piper effect, and I think that, since we've known each other for, upwards of, 3+ years now, I don't think I've seen you, really chase those hype strains with, granted you use strains that, are popular here and there, but I don't think I could say that, you follow, the traditional path that you see in the industry where everybody kind of chases the same fucking thing for a little while. Then they chase this again. You know what I mean? I think you're definitely one who throws a lot of original shit down. I could say that, 100%,
Well, you can kind of look at some of the stuff that I've created. So white truffle, that was a building block. I use that just because it's a phenomenal building block. It's got peanut butter breath. It's got GG4 in it. It's genetic, what it's going to bring to the table in any cross that it's crossed with. And there's a lot of people that did the white truffle, but you look at those only 2 breeders that I know of that with the sonic truffle, and that's Nolan himself has his own sonic truffle line, and there's me. And then Godfather OG, if you look up Godfather OG crosses, there were no crosses when I did mine. I'm the only breeder that really has gone down that road with the real deal cut of Godfather OG and has made this whole line of Godfather. I look at what other breeders are doing and figure out what they're not doing, because I look for that crack of what they're not doing, and is there something advantageous to go down this road to make me unique, not a follower? Because I definitely, me as a person in life, I choose to not be a follower. I like to pick my own path.
Yeah, same here, dude. I definitely hate that shit. There's nothing worse, I think, than just I don't want to get into it because it gets me down a rabbit hole.
I saw your post on LinkedIn. You mentioned being a Leo, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know Dave's a Leo. I'm a Leo too.
Yeah, couldn't tell, right?
Yeah,
couldn't tell at all. So
what day is your birthday, Dave?
14th.
14th. Okay, I'm the 3rd.
Yeah, 14th.
August.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same August. So 3 questions to finish up. So what was your most successful cross ever in terms of grower feedback, and what made it hit so hard across the board?
Dave, I'm going to give 2 answers. One is I've just started. I have so many different crosses, so many things I've played with, and I've been really hesitant about letting them out that I can't say there's so much more coming down the road that it's hard to really say, oh, this one, I'm so thrilled with this one, because honestly, there's so much more coming down the pipe, and I'm just getting warmed up kind of thing. But so far, as far as customer feedback, a lot of people are liking the Sonic Truffle crosses. Someone popped up and mentioned something about they really like the Sonic peanut butter, the Sonic peanut butter runts. That's got the Sonic Truffles by the peanut butter runts, strawberry peanut butter runts, whatever. That one there. And then, the Sonic Truffle blueberry muffin, the white truffle blueberry muffin. and that lemon banana sherbet. All of those everybody seems to really like those.
Yeah, everybody. I didn't see anybody with any kind of negs on that. You know what I mean? I think everybody loved it. You know, everybody that did the comp loved that shit that ran it. You know what I mean? And from feedback through the groups and stuff, because I mean, we've had hundreds of people grow, you know, your stuff through the groups over the last few years. You know, I mean, I've never seen anybody come back and, you know, had anything other than, you know, rave reviews. So, so
well, and that just on that note. Any breeder out there, and I'm not exempt from it, guys. There will be a herm. There'll be a herm here and there. It happens to every breeder. It's not anything I'm doing wrong. It's just Mother Nature. I can't pick out the winning seeds as I package them for you. You can run 20 seeds and not find a herm. You could pop one seed and find a herm. But on average, you have 20% seed failure. Seed failure either through germination, it being a mutant, or it being a herm. 20% of your seeds across the board are going to have some type of issue. 80% of them aren't. So don't pop just one seed, please, guys. Pop 2 or 3. Find your biggest, strongest one. Run with that one. Clone it. Do whatever, but don't judge a pack by one seed.
Works for me. Yeah, definitely. I pop whenever I see. I don't. It's one of the reasons I don't have a huge seed collection anymore, is because I've just gotten to the point where I pop the entire fucking pack most of the time now. Like I said, I'll start, you know, 10 of something and fucking end up with 1. You know what I mean, or 2. You know, if you know, sometimes I throw all 10 away. You know, I just don't like the way they look. You know what I mean? Like, because I want fucking good smoke, dude. I just can't not, man. I just. You know, it's there's nothing worse than finishing a plant and it fucking kicks you out, nothing, you know, or it's just, you know, it's just gack. So, all right. So last 2 questions, John. If all your gear disappeared tomorrow, as of now, what 3 strains would you restart your entire breeding program with?
Godfather G, Super Truffles, and Blueberry Muffins.
Works for me. And the final question for tonight is, over the past 3 years, I've seen, you know, Big Dog grow, you know, fucking over Facebook, you know, your IG was doing good, everything like that. Is there a 2025 drop that's coming that's just going to shut shit down that you can maybe cue us in on? You know, is there something kooky we haven't heard of yet that you might want to bless the audience with, you know? As far as
let me grab a list real quick.
Sounds good to me. What's going on, guys? Sorry, it's kind of hard when you're talking to the guests to fucking kick it with the audience too. What up, Brian, Frankie, fucking Rob, everybody?
So what's coming down the pipe, and I've already kind of mentioned this, and I try to stay a little secretive. I just don't want any other breeders saying, "Oh, he's going to do that. I better release mine real quick, or I better copycat what John's doing." So I try to keep some of it, and people are going to do what they're going to do, but I just try and keep it on the down low a little bit. But here's a few crosses. Yes, I'm dropping the Juicy J run here for going to be going out for testing, and I've got some already pretty good selected testers, so I don't need everybody blowing my email up saying they want free seeds, guys. I like working with testers who produce and actually follow through with the testing, good pictures and good communication. I got a few of you guys out there, and I really appreciate the guys that are doing the hard work on the testing for me. And sorry, I'll throw in girls too. Thank you, Jackie. You're doing an amazing job. Growing Granny, love her. 70 years old or so, calling her growing Granny. Anyways, testers, we'll be getting them first. That's one of the privileges of being a tester. Amazing Juicy J crosses coming up. Very thrilled about that. And the other is some of the Juicy J crosses, for example, my own testing and whatnot. I am actually crossing some my Super Truffles with Juicy J. So I actually dipped into my own. Instead of using all these other breeder stuff for everything, I tapped into using some of my own crosses, like the Super Truffles and some of the lemon banana stuff, just a whole bunch of different Godfather OG crosses that I've made myself and crossing it to the Juicy J. So that's coming up. But some of the ones that are also coming up is cereal milk, apple fritters. I got a king sherbet, got the blue lobster. I got the pimp junkie, which is the going to be kind of a back cross with the cat junkie in there. The super truffles. Another one at Mac, a Mac with Godfather by Juicy J. Those are all the Juicy J line is going to be pretty fantastic.
Nice.
And then one of the other ones I've already mentioned, I've thrown a post is I'm going to be doing an autoflower run and some more fast flower. So I'll be releasing. I'm working with a whole bunch of different other breeders that are on a collab. Spitzer Beans comes to hand. Nancy owns McAfee. Let's see, what is it? 333 Genetics. I'm trying not to forget anybody.
Are we seeing anything with Goat or what?
No, Goat never. I reached out to him once, but I don't think he ever had a chance to respond. But I know he's got some good stuff. I got my plate pretty full with some of the smaller guys. Goat's pretty big, and he's definitely somebody to contend with. I've seen some of his stuff. He's a great breeder.
He's actually coming on in 2 weeks. He's actually coming on with us. He'll be on
awesome.
if you. Yeah, definitely. Tune in that night. He's a fucking bro. That dude, he's works with the USDA and all that shit with all the plants and stuff. You know what I mean? He grows, fields for scientific shit. Like he's on that other wavelength. You know what I mean? Like he's a beast, dude. He's
the one person I did forget to mention that I'm doing a collab with also. So I mentioned a couple of the other breeders. There's another breeder or two in there. I'm trying to remember them all, but one I definitely want to make sure I didn't forget is Chuck there at Autoflowers Anonymous.
Chuck German.
Yeah. He seems to be a really good flower breeder. A lot of watches some of his stuff. He's actually got some of his strains on my website, guys. If you're looking for autoflowers now, Chuck has a pretty good selection of strains on my website that you can purchase now. And I'm actually using his dad. I'm using his strain to pollinate all of my stuff with. He's got a blueberry milkshake that I'm going to be hunting through and crossing everything with blueberry milkshake. So that to autoflowers to make some more autoflowers, and then crossing into some photo periods for some fast flowers. The fast flower strain line coming out with this juice, blueberry milkshake cross to grapes and cream cake and granddaddy perps and
what's
Oregon
the ETA on that, John? What's the ETA on that drop? What's the ETA on that drop?
That's going to be coming up cycle after this one. So autoflowers, you'll pop them. They do their run. I'm going to start popping autoflowers here in about a month. The timing should be right. And then they'll drop, about 4 months from now.
Nice. Yeah, a lot to look forward to, bro. I'm fucking stoked. You know what I mean? You might actually get me to grow a fucking autoflower.
Yeah, using some of the breeders. Using some of the breeders that I'm working with, I'm really excited that they all pitched in and donated their genetics. I'm going to be sending them some of the crosses that I make back to them. And so I'm hoping that I can supply them with something really cool that they weren't in a position to quite make yet. And they gave me some of their best, their portfolio of stuff. So I'm hoping we'd hit a home run with working with all these amazing breeders that were all on Facebook that are all going through the same stuff you and I are, Dave. I just saw Spencer Bean's account. He's no longer available on his old profile on my messenger. So he got hammered and, Opie had some autoflowers and he just gave up because, they've been hammering on him. And,
just fucking Opie, bro. He was putting out fucking heat too, dude. Opie was putting out a lot of good stuff, man. It's such a shame it's fucked up, man, what they're doing to everybody, bro. It's fucked up what they're doing to you, me, Opie, the fucking community in general, bro. And it just seems the bigger you get, the harder they fuck you. You know what I mean? Like it's insane. It's like they wait till you're really doing your fucking thing, and then they just come along and fucking take you out, bro. It's like they plan it. It's a fucking hit,
You mean wait till I'm on a live with you and then delete my account while I'm in the middle? Hey, report my account because I'm on a live version with you,
bro. Listen. I felt like a fucking like a jinx for a minute. Fucking people were going down around me like fucking flies. I was like, what the hell's going on? But it's just to the point. You would think, like I said last time when we were talking to fucking Lost Coast. Not for nothing. I don't, I fuck around about that award I won, the International Cannabis Award thing. To me, it was cool. I didn't expect it, but it's a fucking, it's a pretty decent thing. Like, I was up against the people that had these big fucking accounts all over the world, and I wound up winning the fucking thing. Pretty cool. But it's like I won with Facebook. You see these assholes that fucking run up to people screaming, fucking acting like menaces in public. They win these stupid fucking awards, and Facebook's making fucking reels about them, dancing them around like, and here I am. I win a fucking thing, a little guy fucking wins a thing with their fucking social media platform, and they kill me 3 days later. Like, how the fuck is that even common sense, bro? Like, you would think, maybe that's the doorway to them being like, hey, listen, cannabis is becoming something now. People are starting to fucking do things with our platform out, outside, you know what I mean? Like, you would think maybe that would have been that little fucking brain teaser or something in there to get their liberal minds fucking working right. But nope. They just fucking shut that shit right down 3 days later, bro. I posted that shit. I didn't even, it was the third day after that I actually had realized I won and posted it. And then fucking boom, it goes down. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's just crazy, bro. They don't care, man. Yeah. And then, and even if you're paying you $40 a month to be verified, they still take you out, So it's all a game, but it is what it is, man. I look at it as actually, like I said earlier, like it forced us to fucking evolve, and fucking, I like that more professional platform that we're both on, you know what I mean? Yeah. Fucking, I like the atmosphere there. I've made a fucking lot of good connections. I've got actually a couple breeders sending me shit already from there, I'm actually going to have on Alien Hydro on the fucking show in August, so I'm already making contacts there fucking like this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Fucking kid shit over here, bro, is what I looked at it like. It was, so I'm better off now, so just think of it like that, John. You're better off now,
Yep.
I mean,
there's a little push that I needed, like you said earlier. Got a little comfortable on Facebook, and I spent hours, like 5 hours a day, chatting with people all around the world. And way into my, hours I should be sleeping, I'm still chatting with people. That kind of subsided quite a bit because I went from almost 5,000 friends down to about 600. I think I'm up to 600 friends. My page had almost 10,000 followers. It got deleted, and two of my Instagram accounts, they got deleted. I'm not even on Instagram anymore. So, it's been a bit. It's very refreshing to jump on there, post something on LinkedIn, and just have not worry about it getting deleted and get some, I got a silly question today from a guy on LinkedIn, but no big deal. Not everybody is looking with the same pair of eyes. They said, oh, the bud looks great. What's wrong with this picture? I'm like, everybody's like, there's seeds in it. Again, you see the seed?
Oh, yeah.
Most everybody's, pretty professional, and it's very refreshing to not have any drama.
Bro, let me tell you, man, fucking, because you're getting PhDs jumping on your shit and talking, you know what I mean? Like, you're getting people that are educated, like, not that, I don't say that people that, on Facebook aren't educated about stuff, but they're growers. These guys on there are professional growers and stuff like that. So it's a different atmosphere all around, you know what I mean? It's just, it's professional versus, just a fuck around in my book. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like that, like, and the feedback's fucking always great. I've loved every minute of it there. I wish I would have taken advantage of it sooner. I really do.
Me too.
I really do.
Yeah, me too. Well, Dave, I want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you. I do have to get going. I want to thank all you guys for stopping in and either viewing the live right now or viewing it here down the road. I just want to thank you guys in advance for all you guys' support. Again, my Facebook account get taken down as soon as I get off this broadcast. It's happened before, so make sure to go to my website and sign up for the email. There's my email address, but if you go to my website at Big Dog Novelties, the email screen will pop up to sign within 10 seconds, no matter what you're doing on the website. It'll pop up after you verify that you're 21 or older. It'll pop up and say enter email. Jump on my email list, so if my account goes down, I can tell you where I'm at, or I can still send you updates on our new drops or specials. We don't run too many specials, but when we do, we can't post anything on Facebook anymore. If I do any posts on Facebook, guys, I get hammered. I'm in jail for a month right now. I can't comment on any of your guys' stuff. So when I like something, that's all I can do right now. So I apologize, guys. I'm not trying to blow you off. I just can't even make comments. Same old shit, different day on Facebook. But if you sign up for my email, you can email me back and forth anytime. You're welcome to my cell number. A lot of you guys, I'm getting cell numbers. You know, Dave, you and I finally. If you have a problem with Facebook, cool. Fucking send me something on my cell. Guess what? We didn't lose contact. We don't need Facebook to do, rely on each other. Let's go to old school. Get me cell numbers, emails. Let's not just count on Facebook altogether. We got to diversify and speak together.
Yeah, because we lost fucking tens of thousands of contacts between us. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking insane. So anybody who's out there, you guys can hit me up. I can give you John's number. You can hit John up. He can give you my number. Fucking any, just however you got to get in touch with fucking us, get in touch with us, and we'll make it happen. But, we'll get you there. You know what I mean? So John's website's right there. And you guys, John, thank you again, brother. Stepping in, man. Fucking, I wish we would have gotten this on YouTube the first time, but, it was meant to be to come back. Thank you, because you stepped right in for me, dude, at short notice, man. I appreciate that. You're a great friend. Great breeder, bro, and fucking, I wish you all the luck, man. Fucking, outside of Facebook, dude. I know it's gonna take off again, bro. So.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thank all you supporters. And I'll circle around. We'll do another broadcast down the road when you're not so booked out, Dave.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Everybody, thanks, guys. Fucking have a good night, man. We'll talk to you soon.